Okay, so let's start with the another data visualization, and this time we are going to use the flights data. Now this flights data is for the 1 year, 12 months, right? So again, as usual, we'll just clear the output first. So we'll clear all the outputs, whatever is existing, and we'll run it again from the beginning. So all these processes are cleared now. You can see that all these are blanks. So we'll start afresh, right? Now here this data visualization is with flights data set using Seaborn. Now this is if Matplotlib tries to make easy things easy and hard things possible, Seaborn tries to make a well-defined set of hard things easy too. This was said by Michael Vascom, creator of Seaborn, right? So let's clear all these remarks by running it. You can run this also. Then we are going to import all these libraries, that is pandas and numpy, matplotlib, and then Seaborn also. And then we are importing another library called Beautiful Soup BS this is coming from BS4. So this is another library which is very useful, and we are importing this also, right? Then we are importing our data set, that is flights underscore csv.csv. So this will go into the df, that is data frame. So we can import this also by running. Then we are going to check the data, that is exploratory exercise. So when we do this, you can get year wise, that is from 1949, I mean complete year from January to December, the number of passengers that have traveled in different months, right? So this is how we can, this is the type of data that we have. We can have some more details about it. df describe, that is count, year and passenger, and then mean, standard deviation, minimum, maximum, 25 percentile, 50, 75 percentile, and maximum. We are going to have then the data types. Again, it is year, which is integer, month is object, passengers are again integer. Then some more information, like see that it is range index is 144, data is columns, year, month, passengers, and these are the some further details about that. Then we are going to have this will return a list of all the available data sets. Now that we have set up our environment for working with Seaborn, let's move on further to see how to use its plotting functions. So this is again a remark for our information. We can run that. Now we are going to get the data set names. So for that we have just written this code, sns.get dataset names. So once you run this, then you will get all the data sets, I mean all the names of that, right? So these are the different names that are available with this data set. Now we are going to start our visualization relationship, that is the process of understanding relationship between variables of a data set and how these relationships in turn depend on other variables is known as statistical analysis. Let's now take a deeper look at the functions ahead. So rel plot, this is here a figure level function that makes use of two other axis functions for visualizing statistical relationship which are scatter plot and line plot. This is again for our understanding, so we can simply run it, nothing will happen. Please note that the style attribute is also customizable and can take any value such as dark grid or ticks, etc., which we will discuss later. Then we are going to have the set style, that is the dark grid. So we can for that we have written this code, so we can run it, and of course no output will be there, but then internally it has done that. Let's now take a look at this small example. So we can go for this. Again it is remark f is equal to sns load a data set. Now we are going to load this particular data set, which is flights, and sns rel plot, that is x, on x-axis we are going to have passenger, y month, and data is f is already spelled out here, that is flights. So we can run it, and once this is executed, you will see that you will get a graph like this. It's a kind of a scatter plot only, but then it has more details, like month wise it is given here, and number of passengers are here. So you can easily get that in which month how many passengers have flown in that flight, right? So that is how we can get this kind of a information or visualization. As you can see, the points are plotted in 2-dimensional. However, you can add another dimension using the hue semantic. Let's take a look at the example of this. So we can, because we want to get more and more information. Now with this we are going to have some more information about it. So we will see the following output. Now we are going to, so when we want to have that additional thing, we are going to have SNS plot load data set, that is flights, rel plot passengers, y on y axis month, hue. Now we have added the hue, that is year, and data is f. So this again we can run, and now you are going to get a difference. See the difference. Now here the plots are somewhat colored. Now earlier we had just one type of, you can see here, and here we are having colored one. So you can distinguish it easily, that in the year 48 what was the situation, in 52, 56, 60. So that is how you can get it. So the more, it is more meaningful now. Now however, there are many more customizations that you can try, and as such colors, styles, sizes, etc., etc., all these things are possible. So let's show how you can change the color in the following example. If we run again, using this code, that is sns.set style dark grid, then fsns data set, load data set flights, SNS rel plot passengers. You can see that the codes are by and large the same, but only thing with minor differences here and there, you can get more information about it. So hue here is year, palette is CHR 0.5, 1 is equal to 0.75, and data is F, which is already mentioned. So when we execute this, you will get again a still although the points are same, but then you are getting somewhat different this graph. So this is that is how you can keep on improving your graphs using various codes for that. Now we are going to draw a line plot. Here we are using a different data set. This function will allow us to draw a continuous line for your data. That is, we can use this function by changing the kind parameter as follows. So now we are using kind parameter. So we can run this, nothing will happen. So A is equal to PD data frame day, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, what, there are 7 days in a week. Then grocery, this is a different data set, not the flights data set. The grocery data, that is 30, 80, these are for 7 days, what was the purchases made. Clothes, that again for 7 days what has been purchased. Then utensils, what has been purchased. And then these are the indexes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then G is equal to SNS rel plot, X is the day, Y is the clothes, kind is the line, and data is A, right? So this is how we are going to get a graph G, fig, auto formatting, and X date. So when we execute this, you can see that we are going to have a line. This is how it has changed over the period between the close, that is day, on day 1, day 2, day 3, how the data has moved, has changed, and on day 7 it has gone the peak, that is highest, and these are the clothes that we have, that has been purchased during this 7 days. Now this is how you can draw a line chart. Further on to this, we can have the again an auto format style, which is in the data frame is same, data is again the same, grocery, clothes. Then here we have the utensils, you have the index, and then day, and then you are going to draw a rel plot. So when you execute it, you will get another type of, because there are some differences in the data, so that is why you have got, these are the different types of data that you have got, and depending on the data and of course your day, etc., it will change. So you will get another type of line chart. Now further, we can get again a different data set, the default of for line plot, that is y as a function of x. However, it can be changed if you wish to do so. There are many more options which you can try for. Let's take a look at how to plot a categorical data, right? So this is, again, of course, nothing will happen here. Now plotting with categorical data, this is something which needs to be understood. That is, this approach comes into the picture when our main variable is further divided into discrete groups, that is categorical. This can be achieved using the cat plot. Cat plot is a type of plot which is available in this, and this is a figure level function like rel plot. It can be characterized by three families of axis level function, namely scatter plot, distribution plots, and estimate plots. Right? So let's now take a few examples to demonstrate this. So we can again execute this part because this is a remark, so nothing will happen here. But yes, we can go to the next cell, that is import seaborn again as SNS. Import matplotlib, SNS, then style is ticks, color is code is true, SNS dataset is tips. Now here we are going to use the tips dataset, and for that the category plot is day. Day is taken as on x axis, and total bill is taken as, this is of the data of a restaurant, where they are trying to analyze that what is the pattern of inflow of the guests in a restaurant during those 4 days or whatever days they specify, and data is from the A, that is tips. A is equal to SNS load data set, that is tips. Tips is the name of the data set, right? So when we execute it, you can get this kind of graph. Again, it is a kind of a scatter plot, but then these are the 4 days, that is Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and this is the total bill. So what is the bill like, and on which day how much sale has taken place? That is what the purpose of this. So that is how you can create various types of plots depending on requirement. As we can see the above plot, we have not set the kind parameter, right? Therefore it has returned the graph as the default scatter plot. You can specify any of the axis level function to change the graph as need be. Let's take an example of this as well. So we can execute this. Now we are writing this code for getting this plot, that is import seaborn as SNS, matplotlib, then ticks SNS.set styles ticks, color code is true, and then SNS load dataset is tips again, cat plot is day, total bill is Y, and now we are using the kind as violin. There we used it and we have not given anything, so it has taken that by default. Now we are mentioning the kind, that is a violent type of. So you can see that when we give it, you will get a violent type of a graph here, plot. Now you can see that where in the middle, where the violent becomes rather more expanded, that means the sale was high on at that particular time. And this is again for the 4 days, and total billing was according to whatever is available in the y-axis, right? So this is how you can create your different types of plots. Now the above plot shows the violent plot for the tips dataset. Now let us try to find how to visualize the distribution of a data set. So we can run it, nothing will happen here. Visualization, this basically deals with the understanding of data set with context of being the univariate or bivariate. Before starting with this, just import the following. So we can import again NumPy pandas dataset. We need not, because if you already imported and we have not made any change, then you can keep on using that, but it is better that we must import it so that it should not give an error. So after importing all that, SNS set color date code is equal to true. So you can run it, nothing will happen in this also, but yes, once this is done, you can continue plotting univariate and bivariate distribution also. You can execute this also, plotting univariate distribution. To plot them, you can make use of the distribution plot, that is dist plot function as follows. So for that, you can again write this: A is equal to NP random normal, lock is 5, size is equal to 100, scale is 2, and dist plot we are going to get now. So this is the distribution plot, right? It is something like here, this is the normal curve that you have got, right? And this is the histogram that you have got. On top of that you have got this, right? So this is a distribution plot or dist plot. Now as we can see the above example, we have plotted a graph for the variable whose values are generated by the normal function using dist plot. So this is how the dist plot can be generated. Now plotting a bivariate distribution, this comes into picture when you have two random independent variables resulting in some probable even. The best function to plot these types of graph is joint plot. Let's see how to plot that, right? So we can run this, nothing will happen of course, but then now we have got the data X, PD data frame, day 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, grocery is of course like this, clothes is like this, utensils is like this, index is like that, right? So this is the type of data. You can give the data in a file or maybe in a data frame as it is shown here. X and Y is again mentioned here, again different, because these are bivariate, so there are two variables X and Y and different data sets are there, data points are different. Now mean and covariance 0 1 1 comma 0.5 0.5 comma 1, and data is NP random multivariate, normal, mean, covariance and 200. So with SNS axis style white, you can have a joint plot by writing this code SNS dot joint plot, X is equal to X, Y is equal to Y, kind is equal to KDE and color is B. So this is something which is very important, and this of course you must repeat couple of times so that you are familiar with the code, because writing code is not that simple. You must know that which code is to be written where. That is why you need practice. So when we run this, you can see that how this graph is going to be there. So this is the joint plot, right? Because we have mentioned about the joint plot here, so that is why this is the joint plot which has now being displayed on your screen, and this is how you can get it. Now inferences for this, you can, depending on the data on different days and of course whatever purchases have been made, you can definitely draw your inferences from this plot. Now that you have understood, you have seen the various functions in Python Seaborn, let's move on to build structured multi-plot grids. So multi-plot grids are in Seaborn allows you to plot multiple grids side by side. These are basically plots or graphs that are plotted using the same scale and axis to aid comparison between them. So that is why it is very helpful. This in turn helps the programmer to differentiate quickly between the plots and obtain large amount of information. Consider the following example of facet grid function to plot these graphs. So when you want to plot this, you can again run this first. This also you can run. This also we can run. And now we are going to use this code, that is SNS style dark grid as we mentioned. Then A is SNS load dataset iris, that is the iris dataset that we are going to use. SNS facet grid, where the column is a species which are there, which we have, if you remember, we have discussed earlier also. Then B map plot histogram and sepal length. So when we execute this, you will see that again you have got a different kind of a histogram, three different graphs, and you can these are comparative. Although you will see, if you see very closely, you can see that there is a difference. This sepal length graph is slightly thinner and very high, whereas this sepal length is not that, is broader, but it is not that high, and this is still broader. This is for virginica, this is for versicolor, this is for setosa. So that is how you can distinguish the three. With just these 3-4 lines code, you can get this kind of a graph, which is very helpful, particularly for those analysts who want to analyze this. They can use these types of graphs. Now the above output clearly shows the comparison between the tips that are given during lunch and dinner, etc. You can also plot using pair grid function when you have a pair of variables to compare the So these types of different situations you can use this. Only thing, the objective is to learn as to how these visualization can be done, so that we can draw our conclusions looking at the graph itself. Now we can use the SNS set ticks stylistics. Sets and data set is flights again, and then pair grid we are using, and then we are going to draw a map PLT scatter plot we are going to draw here. So this also we can run, and then when we run this, you will see that there is another type of a scatter plot which is available now. So you can see that this type of a scatter plot is going to be there. This is for the flights data. Again, you can see the different years, how the various passengers have flown in those flights, right? So this again is a very informative kind of a, so you can definitely make use of this for your planning or for various other purposes. Now thus, so you can see that, as you can see, the above output clearly compares between the year and the number of passengers at different ways. Seaborn also allows customizations regarding aesthetics, which is discussed further. We can run this, nothing is going to happen. Now further on to that, Python Seaborn figure aesthetics, their first function that I shall be discussing is set. I have been using this style parameter of the function before. This parameter basically deals with the Seaborn themes. At present there are 5 of them available, namely dark grid, ticks, white grid, white and dark. Consider the following example demonstrating the white theme. So we can run this. Of course nothing is going to happen. Import Seaborn as SNS, matplotlib as PLT, then style is white as I mentioned, color is going to be true, load dataset is tips, that again we have used earlier, day is denoted as X, and on y-axis we have the total bills. Data is coming from A, that is tips, right? So when we run this, you can see that again a box plot is going to be created, and this box plot is also quite informative. You can see that in different days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, different colors and different types and different sizes have been shown here. So depending on the total bill of the the revenue that they have been able to generate. Now in the above output, you can notice that the theme is changed to white. You can explore them further using the other themes as well. If you notice in the previous output, there are X's present all around the graph. However, this is also customizable using the despine function. Look at the example below. So there you can see here, and then now we are going to use again write this code for this purpose. Import Seaborn as SNS, import matplotlib again, same thing, and now we are going to so see, in this and this, of course broadly if you see they are same, but then there are very minute differences which you can notice, right? So now moving on further onto this Python Seaborn color palettes. Now color palettes are very useful in the sense that you must get familiar with that what are the different types of colors which are possible. So color is basically the feature that approaches the human eyes beyond. That is why we need colors. If it is just one color, probably it is difficult. So any feature that is we can always show with different colors. Seaborn allows you to play with colors using various functions such as color palette, hiss palette, hustle palette, and then etc. etc. So take a look at the colors that are currently present within the Seaborn itself. So for doing that, again you can import numpy Seaborn by matplotlib. Present colors are color palettes, SNS pal plot present colors. So once you run this, you can try it and just by writing this similar code, and you can see that you will get a palette like this. So the above image shows the colors that are present within the Seaborn itself. So we have done it using the pal plot. Pal plot is the color palette, and function for deeper variations you can use this palette, hustle palette, etc., etc. So this again we can run. So if you want to check where your various things are happening, for that you can, and this you must know. So this gives you the PWD. You can get it, and this means that this is present working directory, where your data is getting, your outputs are getting stored. All this is possible. So you can run that also, and you can get that the directory. In this case, in my case, it is appearing here. It is all being stored here, right? So that is how you can keep on doing your visualization, which is very useful and very, very helpful. Thank you.